Okay, today we are diving into one of nature's most bizarre and frankly terrifying survival stories. It's a tale of manipulation so complete, it literally turns its victims into mindless zombies, just puppets controlled by some hidden master. So let's just start with a puzzle. Picture this. A praying mantis, an insect that lives its entire life on land, is doing something that makes absolutely zero sense. It's throwing itself into a pool of water. Why on earth would a creature that can't swim deliberately seek out its own drowning? Well, the short and pretty chilling answer is it has no choice. The mantis isn't in control of its own body anymore. It's not even in control of its own brain. It's being piloted by something else, something sinister lurking inside. And here is our culprit, the horsehair worm. This thing is a long, thread-like parasite with let's just say, a fascinatingly grim double life. Part of its existence is spent in the water, but the other, much creepier part is spent growing inside an unsuspecting insect host. Now, here's what's so wild about this. The worm's survival, its variability to reproduce and continue its species, it all hinges on this one act of manipulation. This isn't just some weird side effect. This mind control is the core of its entire life strategy. So how does this whole elaborate deception actually work? Well, it's a multi-stage process. It all starts with these microscopic larvae hatching in water. They get eaten by other small aquatic bugs, like mayfly larvae. Then, our mantis unwittingly enters the scene by eating one of those infected bugs. For weeks, even months, the worm just grows silently inside the mantis, using it as a living incubator. But, and this is the key, for the worm to complete its mission and reproduce, it has to get back to where it started, the water. Which, leads us to the totally science fiction question. How on earth does a worm, coiled up inside an insect, pilot its host across land to find a body of water, and then, compel it to jump in? The answer is a complete and total hijacking of the host's brain. This isn't just some physical nudge. We're talking about a sophisticated chemical and genetic takeover. And thanks to some very recent science, we're finally starting to understand exactly how it pulls this off. All right, let's get into the science here, because it's pretty incredible. A 2023 study in Current Biology revealed something astonishing. When the time is right, the worm activates thousands of its own genes. Think of it like a sleeper agent getting its final orders. It starts producing this cocktail of proteins that directly mess with the mantis's central nervous system. Some of these proteins might even be created using genes borrowed from the mantis itself, which makes the takeover even more seamless. And the end goal of all this chemical warfare? To completely rewire the mantis's brain and fundamentally change its relationship with light. And the result is a total behavioral 180. A normal mantis lives on land, actively avoids water, but the infected zombie mantis is literally driven toward it. The parasite rewires its brain to become powerfully attracted to a specific kind of light, the horizontally polarized light that reflects off a water surface. It creates this fatal attraction it just can't resist. So the parasite's manipulation has worked perfectly. The mantis is standing at the water's edge, compelled by forces it cannot understand or fight. And this is where the final horrifying act of this whole natural drama unfolds. After the mantis plunges into the water, the worm emerges. It literally bursts out of the host's body, its vehicle no longer needed, and swims away to find a mate and start the cycle all over again. And the mantis? Its purpose is served. It's just left behind. Now that the worm is free, you have to appreciate the sheer scale of this creature. Some species of these horsehair worms can grow up to 2 meters long. That's over 6 feet. Just imagine that, coiled up inside an insect that's only a few inches long. It is absolutely mind-boggling. And what's also just fascinating is that the adult worm, once it's free in the water, it doesn't have a mouth, it has no digestive system, it doesn't eat. Its entire existence at this final stage is stripped down to one single, overriding purpose: find a mate and reproduce. So when you put all of this together, you realize this isn't just some simple parasite. This thing is a master of biological and psychological warfare. It's using genetics, chemistry, and neurology to turn another living being into a vehicle for its own survival. And that really brings us to a quote that just perfectly captures the two sides of this whole thing. Is it brutal? Oh, without a doubt. From the mantis's point of view, it's a complete horror story. But from a purely biological standpoint, is it evolutionarily brilliant? Absolutely. This is the result of a million-year arms race, a testament to the incredible and sometimes ruthless strategies life will invent just to keep going. And that leaves us with a final thought to ponder. The horsehair worm is just one really dramatic example of nature's manipulators. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other hidden forces, what other invisible puppeteers are out there quietly shaping the behavior of the world all around us?